Michigan. So we've got Jaden Davis, who is a freshman, Jaden Denegal, who is a junior, Alex Orji is a junior, Jack Tuttle is a grad student, Anthony Arnau is a senior, and Davis Warren is a senior. And all these guys are, man, at 6'1", Jaden Davis is the shortest one. All right, same question. Who's your starter? Who's your backup?
Yeah, I think my starter is Alex Orji. The kid's a freak. He's a great athlete. We didn't get to see him throw the ball at all last year, which is kind of a bummer to me because I've heard that he has quite the arm. But what we do know is that he is apparently a really good stand-in for Jalen Milroe. So if he has that kind of arm and he's got that kind of athleticism, he's the starter. This was something that I was thinking about from the spring or from what I want to see in the spring game. I want to see him throw the ball because we need to see what kind of a zip and how much what kind of accuracy he has. And my fear is that as good as I think he can be, he's still probably going to be a step backwards from JJ McCarthy, or he's going to be a different kind of quarterback, and under Sharon Moore, the offensive philosophy is going to change enough that they're going to go more to Alex Orji's strengths. So there really isn't as much of a drop off in performance or production as much as they're getting that production in a different way. He could be a really good RPO quarterback, provided his arm is a good enough weapon that defenses need to be prepared for. So he's my starter. And then I think Jack Tuttle is my backup. Jack Tuttle does have legs. He can run. We could have seen that a little bit more last year, but Rutgers took a cheap shot at him and knocked him out. In any case, Jack Tuttle led a few touchdown drives for Michigan last year. He's got a heck of an arm. He's got the experience. He knows what he's doing. He would be a solid backup, in my opinion. And then I think it goes to either Davis Warren or Jaden Davis.
Okay.
And I'm only saying that because I don't know a lot about Jaden Denegal.
So while you're doing that, I saw a video from Scott Fisher. I know he was a recruiter. He at least was a recruiter. I'm not sure if he's still a recruiter. As a guy with recruiting experience, he has started a YouTube channel. He figures Jaden Denegal will be the starter, and then Davis Warren would be the backup this year. And he actually thinks, or he said Alex Orji will likely be a backup along with Davis Warren. If I remember correctly, the reason he gave was that Alex Orji doesn't have the snap decisions capability that somebody like Jaden Denegal has. And Jaden Denegal is the junior. Jaden Davis is the freshman. He sees Jaden Davis as probably starting next year.
I could be okay with that. The reason I like Alex Orji over Jaden Denegal, though, is because I think Alex Orji provides a little bit more of a dual threat. And again, I'm saying that despite the fact that we don't really know a lot about Jaden Denegal right now. Maybe Alex Orji doesn't have or didn't have the decision-making power of Jaden Denegal last season, but he's got more experience and he's had time to build that up. That's something that he can practice and he can get better at. The overall athleticism, that X factor type thing that they talk about, that's something that can't be coached and you can't really learn. You just kind of have. So, and I think that that's what gives Alex Orji the edge here, is that he's got some athleticism that Michigan's really going to need at quarterback, because if his arm isn't quite where JJ's was, then they're going to be relying on some quarterback runs to open up their offense a little bit more, because you can't just hand the ball off every time and keep the defense on their toes. Although they did with Penn State, so it might not matter. Who knows? But in any case, Jaden Denegal is actually an intriguing character here because he's got 5 pass attempts last year and completed 4 of them. So for 80% completion percentage, for 50 yards and a 10-yard average. His long was 35. You know, for as limited playing time as he had, that's pretty good. Alex Orji didn't get any pass attempts last year. The Davis Warren bit, though, I find intriguing because I'm sure he's talented, but he had 5 pass attempts in 2023 and missed all of them. And in fact, one of them was an interception. So I don't see him as a backup. I see him as like 3rd or 4th string. Maybe he's gotten better. I don't know.
My pick doesn't matter, but I'm like you. I'm like I would like to see Orji and Tuttle be number 1 and number 2. But for me, it's like the seniority. They've earned it. So it's like they're supposed to get it, but obviously that's not how it works.
I still think that gives Alex Orji the edge, but I don't know. I mean, Jaden Davis, I'd like to see a situation where Alex Orji is out by halftime and Jaden Davis gets to play the entire second half, and then by next season he's the starter.
Well, that's one of the funny things you can say about JJ McCarthy. He hardly played last year.
I know, yeah. He was at one point the favorite for the Heisman, despite playing only like
half of every game.
Yeah. But what I've heard in spring practice is that Alex Orji does not have an accuracy issue. At least, I mean, he might not be as accurate as JJ, but he doesn't have like a full-on issue.
I would just notice the physical difference between Orgy and Tuttle. Orgy is an inch shorter and 26 pounds heavier.
I hope RG3 calls every Michigan game next year.
Why?
Because of his, his comment when Alex Orgy scored the touchdown.
Oh, there's an Orgy in the end zone?
Yeah.
This is all opinion right now. Because we're going to see in spring practice, or not spring practice, but the spring game, which I believe is mid-April, all of this could change. We could see in that game, Jack Tuttle might be at the bottom of the list rather than near the top. Things just change that fast. It's all opinion right now. Old Timer says Coach Moore just said Orgy can throw, and Harbaugh said the same thing.
Boom. Sam Hartman's looking downfield for Adrian.
Oh! Carter almost has a one-handed catch.
Almost.